Welcome back, folks. Emergency response teams are trained to react in any emergency. But is anyone really prepared for complete engine failure and flames? Let's ask the flight pilot, Bobby Wisdom, and his crew members, Belinda Metz and Mac Atterbury. You guys go out, Bobby, you go out to help in a life flight, and all of a sudden the helicopter catches on fire.
Well, it began really with mechanical failure. It was a failure of the transmission, which extinguished both the engines, and then it caught on fire too. So the fire was what the media and everybody saw as the really big thing, but to us at the time the problem was that it wasn't flying anymore. And
that sounds pretty bad.
And the fire was just another reason to get the aircraft on the ground.
So were you trained for anything like that?
Well, they train us for engine failures and they train us for fires, but for transmission failures with engine failures with fires, no, that's kind of a compound emergency. There's nothing in the manual about that. I had some friends that, after the fact, made a little joke flight manual for me, and it said, in the event of dual engine failure, transmission failure, and fire, the next page said land, and the next page said run. And that's pretty much what we did.
I mean, that's got to be the worst nightmare possible.
Yeah, I don't think it could have really been any worse.
So now, Belinda, you're sitting the other way. You're flying this way. You're sitting this way. You see the flames, right?
Actually, I didn't see the flames. We did see the smoke out from the aircraft. It was very difficult to see anything else at that point. We knew we were on fire because of the smoke, but we really didn't realize the extent of the fire until we landed and we were preparing to exit the aircraft. At that point, I opened my door and the flames were just everywhere, and that really shocked me. I didn't expect the flames to be that extensive.
Okay, well, Mac, what about you? What are you thinking?
Well, I started to see the smoke as we were starting to slow down a little bit, but when we exited the aircraft, the flames were right there at the door.
So it's almost like you didn't quite, I mean, you knew it was bad, but you didn't know that you were on fire. You knew something. How did you get down?
We executed a maneuver called an auto-rotation. It's when the engine stops in a helicopter, it doesn't just fall like a rock. It does have some glide capability, and that's that capability that we use to get down. It's using the weight of the aircraft falling through the air to turn the rotor blades and to generate a little bit of lift. But it's a finite amount of energy. All you're going to get is as you come down, and so you can fly it and you have control over it, but you only have a small area that you can go to. You're not going to glide very far.
Where did you land?
We landed in a mall parking lot. We were flying over a pretty major highway that was a lot of construction, and so that was one alternative. And there were some fields, but they had really tall grass, and we didn't want to go there. And the parking lot wasn't very crowded. It was in September, so the crowds weren't very much at the mall. Had it been in December, we would have had to have another alternative.
Wow. And you got down safely, obviously.
Yes, we did. On the way down, from the time it actually failed until we were on the ground, we didn't time it obviously, but we thought it was about 15 seconds. We've gone back and looked at it, so there wasn't a whole lot of time. So all I really had time to do was tell them to tighten their seat belts. I think I said, we're going down. I really don't remember.
That's what he said.
It was kind of obvious.
He just said, you know, we're going down, tighten your belts, and that's exactly what we did.
There's one part of the story I read in the newspaper, I think, where you looked over at her, Belinda, and you said she has a child. You said that right. In your mind.
We both do, and we've, hung out away from work a little bit. Her family and my family, and that's, the thing that I was worried about was I can't hurt her because I can't leave her kid without a mom. But it's amazing in a 15-second time how much can go through your mind, even when you're really busy.
Okay, what about the post-traumatic stress disorder of that? I mean, what you all went through the next time. When did you have to go up again?
In my case, it was 2 days later, and it was, well, it was it's just time to go back to work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was it scary to you? Have you had some nightmares over it?
It was just something that, something that could possibly happen. It's part of the job, and I know I just went right back on the aircraft. Now I kind of, you hear a little strange noise or what have you. You question, almost grill the pilot sometimes.
Right. Okay, thank you for sharing that story. I really appreciate it. Next, we're going to meet a young hero that risked his life to save his two best friends and hear what President Clinton had to say to him. Welcome back, folks. Extraordinary people come in all sizes and ages. When my next guest, Nicholas Cawthon, was only 10 years old, he risked his life to help save his friends Ryan and Brian, and also with them is Nicholas' mom, Marilyn. Welcome to the show. So, Nicholas, tell us the story. You're out, you three guys are out swimming, and what happened? You're in the ocean.
We went out wave jumping, and this rip current had, like, taked us out. It was a pretty strong rip current. And since Brian and Ryan aren't really the best swimmers, they kind of didn't really know what to do, so they started panicking. And since a panicking person, when they drown, they tend to climb up on top of people, and that's what Brian and Ryan did.
They were climbing up on top of you.
Yeah.
Not people.
Yeah.
Out in the middle of the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, it was kind of close into shore. It wasn't all that far.
But nobody at first knew. Were you there, Marilyn? Were you?
No, I was not.
Okay, but so the people that were there with you didn't realize that you all were in trouble, right?
No. Brian's dad, Kevin, was the first one to see that we needed help.
And he just come back from like bike riding.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like glad that he decided to stop riding then, because like as soon as he got off his bike, he saw us out in the water.
And you were calling for help?
People can't really hear you out in the water because of the waves and like the current and stuff. And like I just thought something was wrong.
Okay, so you guys are pretty panicked. And what, you're trying to climb up on Nicholas's back or
Shoulders.
Shoulders. And you're trying to swim with these two guys on your shoulders?
Yeah. With them trying to get on top of me, I was trying to get in, which wasn't all that helpful.
But basically, at times, you were underwater holding them up.
Yeah, trying to keep these two guys above water can be a chore.
There was like a 6 foot. It was like a ditch, and then on the other side of the ditch was a sandbar. We didn't know that.
Like the lifeguards, they told us after we got out that there's a big ditch in the water.
Nice going. Okay, so your dad gets out there. Your dad gets out there and gets one of you, right?
My mom came out there also, but like she was in such a hurry, she didn't feel it, but she broke her foot on a rock.
Wow.
She was in such a hurry.
But basically, you guys would probably not have made it if it wasn't for Nicholas.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fact. And Marilyn, you're shaking your head.
Basically, that's a fact.
So he saved their lives. So how do you feel about that, Nicholas? You saved your buddies' lives.
Well, I'm glad that I did, because Brian and Ryan are really good friends. And, you know, it's like, whoa, cool.
You're a good guy to have for a friend. You're a good guy. Now, he's pretty modest, Marilyn.
Very.
You've got he's gotten some medals, Coast Guard medal, the Boy Scouts of America medal, and then I guess, well, those are wonderful. You've gotten a lot of other recognition, but you also got a letter from President Clinton. But I understand you couldn't open it until you washed your hands.
That's correct. When Mom says that she was looking at the return address labels and she saw this thing that was addressed to me, and she looked at the return address and it said the White House. So she came and said, "Wash your hands, Nick. Wash your hands."
Because we didn't want to get this letter dirty, right? Okay, what did it say, Nicholas?
On this day, Hillary and I would like to join your family and friends in wishing you much joy and happiness. Best wishes, Bill Clinton.
All right. Congratulations. That is great. Okay, too many people give up on teams that get involved in drugs and gangs, but my next guest didn't give up. Find out what she did.
What's wrong with community people coming back, laying those talents on the table, and let everyone partake of what they need?